This morning, our very special guest, Sophia Mapes, is the foster care coordinator with COBYS Family Services. Good morning, Sophia.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So wonderful to have you here. Tell us about COBYS Family Services.
Yes, so COBYS is a nonprofit human service agency, and we're providing services related to foster care, adoption, family life education, and counseling.
I know one of the things we do here is you always put up when you have your foster care info sessions. What's it like for a family that is interested in foster care?
Correct. So they can reach out at cobys.org/fostering just to get a little bit more information. But our info sessions, basically, you'll log on, you'll meet with our foster care either our supervisor or one of our resource home supervisors, and they'll kind of talk you through the process. So what that looks like is you will go in person. I believe they're revamping it a little bit. So it's going to be about, I think, 4 or 5 sessions in person, and then you'll do some videos, some homework. And then once you make it through that's when you start the deep stuff. So you'll get your home study done, you'll have interviews, and you'll kind of lay out your preferences, things like that.
What's the state of foster care in our area right now? How many kids are out there? Why do kids become foster care children? Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So kids come into care for many different reasons. Abuse, neglect, mental health struggles of birth parents, sometimes their own mental health struggles, drug and alcohol. Sometimes it's just lack of a support system. And oftentimes we are finding that it can be generational. So some of our kiddos that are coming in, their birth parents are struggling. They were actually in the foster care system themselves.
Yeah.
And so what we kind of need right now is, so we're having a lot of kiddos come into care with complex needs that can look like I said, mental health struggles, academic struggles. So we just need homes for kids that they're willing to walk through kind of the progress with them. We need people to be able to see the potential of the child, not just where they're at currently. All of these kids have such amazing potential, and we just need people to walk through that journey with them.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of numbers? What kind of, need is there out there?
Oh, we have such a great need. I mean, we have referrals coming in. So we work with Lancaster and the surrounding areas. So like Lebanon, York, Dauphin, Schuylkill. And so what that looks like is they make referrals to us and they say, do you have a home for this child? This is their age, this is their behaviors, and then we try to match them with one of our families that we believe that they would succeed in their home.
Yeah.
Right now, we're getting referrals in daily, and we just don't have the resources, unfortunately. We really need people to come, step up and kind of be there for the community and support these kiddos. I would say right now, we typically average 55 to 60 kids in our homes, and that's on the lower end right now. We used to be around 70, 75.
Okay, interesting. Is there a perfect family, or is there a prototypical family that you're saying you're looking for as foster care families? Older people who have already raised kids, people without children? Is there anything like that?
So it can just be the whole gamut. We are looking for anybody who is just willing to put in the work, willing to walk with them and their birth families too. It's a group effort, right? We need to be able to kind of wrap around. That's what COBYS thing is. We wrap around services, right? So we offer services to the children, to the resource parents, to the birth parents. And we just need somebody who's willing to put in the effort, be consistent, and provide love. I mean, none of us are perfect, right? So there is no such thing as a perfect foster family. We have single parents, we have older couples, we have younger couples, we have couples who have never parented and couples who have parented 20 kids,
Right.
It's really just opening your heart, opening your home, and being willing to kind of support these families on this journey.
If listeners are interested in getting more information and becoming foster parents, what do they do?
So they can go to www.cobys.org/fostering. And you can receive a lot more information, start a conversation about how to move forward with, starting the whole process.
And how long have you been at COBYS?
I've been at COBYS for 7 years. So I started as a permanency caseworker, which is contracted through the county. So I was helping birth parents kind of walk through their journey, making referrals, getting them set up with their services to get their kiddos back. Then I moved over to be a foster care caseworker, and I was a foster care caseworker for about a year and a half, and then now I'm a foster care coordinator.
And what do you love about working at COBYS?
Just the people. I mean, the atmosphere, the positivity, the support. We are we work so well together. We're such a team between my unit's the foster care unit, the adoption unit, the family life education, the resource home. We all work so well together to be able to support these families.
Check it out online, cobys.org. It's cobys.org/fostering. November is National Adoption Month, so we'll talk to Sophia more coming up, and maybe she can give us a little insight into that side of what COBYS does. This morning, our very special guest, Sophia Mapes, is with COBYS Family Services. She's the foster care coordinator. Good morning again, Sophia.
Good morning.
Wonderful to have you here. Tell us about COBYS.
Yes, so COBYS is a nonprofit human services agency motivated by Christian faith, and we provide services related to foster care, adoption, counseling, and family life education.
If there are families listening that are interested in becoming foster parents, what are some of the resources, some of the things you do to come alongside the families who are welcoming these children into their homes?
Right. So obviously the first step would just be to go to our website and kind of read some more information about what our process looks like. So we have first our info session, and if you're continue to be interested, then you move forward with some pre-service training. And what that looks like is different members of our team kind of walking alongside of you throughout the trauma-informed trainings, evidence-based trainings, and that they're revamping it right now, so it will be a little shorter. So the time frame from when you start your pre-service training to being an approved family, I believe they're aiming for 6 to 9 months,
okay.
Which is really great.
Yeah.
And so some of the things that we do to kind of walk alongside of our families through the process, excuse me, is so like I said, we do the evidence-based trainings, not only before children are placed in your home, but also throughout. And we find that kind of helps you retain some of the information when you're kind of seeing that firsthand. We have on-call workers, so we provide 24/7 support for our families. So if in the middle of the night the kiddo is sick and you need somebody to meet you at the ER, urgent care, you call our on-call worker, and they are happy to meet you there, happy to provide any resources that you may need. Same with any behavioral issues, things like that. You call, hey, we're really struggling right now. What can you do? They will come out to your home even at 2 a.m. and support you through that process. We have respite family. So what that is, you're going on vacation or you just really need a break because parenting is hard, whether it's your biological children or foster children. And our respite families will kind of step in for you. So, not everybody has a huge support system. And so respite is you let us know, hey, I need respite this weekend. It can even be last minute. We can't always promise it last minute, but, hey, I need respite for this weekend. We will find a family willing to do that. And then you can, move forward with whatever plans that you have.
If you are interested in being a foster family or just getting more information, visit cobys.org/fostering to get more of that information and to even start the process there at the website. Sophia, as far as November being National Adoption Month, tell us a little bit about the process to go from fostering to adopting a child in their home.
Right. So when a child is placed in your home, it can be either at the beginning of placement, so right when they first come into care, or it can be 6 months down the road. They may have been placed in a foster home that was just foster only. And so once they're placed in your home, they do have to be in your home for at least 6 months before we could even start thinking about the adoption process. So once a child comes into care, there is a law that states after 15 months, if the parents have not made substantial progress on their plan, the agency is able to move forward with termination of parental rights. So if a family is making progress, moderate progress, sometimes it can be longer than that. But the goal is to have a child in a permanent resource and not kind of lingering in the foster care system.
Right.
So once that occurs and they decide that they're moving forward with termination of parental rights, they will have a couple court hearings, and the judge will decide whether or not there's enough information and enough evidence to terminate the parental rights of the birth parents. After that, you will get an adoption care worker through COBYS and the county that you're fostering through. So like I said, we foster Lancaster, York, Lebanon, Schuylkill, Berks. I think it's about 7 or 8, kind of local areas. So once you get the adoption worker, you'll have to go through all that paperwork. So it's, like your family home study again, getting your well exams, things like that. So it does take a couple months to get from the termination to the adoption date. We are kind of finding that it is taking a little bit longer to get to the termination, and then a little bit longer to get to the adoption. But yeah, so like if you come into foster care, right, like you can decide I'm just going to be foster only, I'm going to be respite, or I will foster to adopt, and I want to be a permanent resource for this child if needed. Do
you have any sense of percentages, like how many of the kids are become available for adoption? Is there any kind of info like that?
So recently there's a really big push for reunification and kinship, especially that is being placed with a family member.
Right.
We've had a lot of reunifications, which is great. I mean, that is the goal of foster care, right? To get the kiddos back home. Right. Studies show that that really is what's best for them. If that can't occur, then, we would love for the child to be adopted into one of our loving and supportive families. I would say maybe 50%. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah,
so
I had no idea.
It's not a huge percentage.
Yeah. So COBYS.org is the place to go, /fostering. You can get more information there. How are you guys funded? How are you guys supported?
Right. So we are donation-based. We are, like I said, a nonprofit organization. So we actually coming up, we are part of the Extra Give, which is on November 22nd. So if you feel so called to support us, fostering is not for everybody. It is very hard. It is very challenging. So if you just want to support, either our kids, our families, the services that we provide, we have a kids closet, which when a kid comes into care, we provide them a backpack, clothing, school supplies, pajamas, things like that. If you want to, be able to support a kiddo like that and come alongside the families, feel free to donate on, like I said, November 22nd for the Extra Give.
Very good. Check out in the meantime, COBYS.org, COBYS.org as well. Sophia, it was a joy to have you here today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having us.